Hello, my friends. Welcome to Sleep with Stories. As the world quiets around you, take a moment to settle in. Let your body relax, allowing the weight of the day to gently lift away. Breathe in deeply, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly, letting go of any tension you might still carry. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a place of peace, where the world outside doesn't matter. With each breath, you drift closer to calm, ready to embark on a journey of rest. Tonight's story is a gentle reminder of how even the smallest adventures can bring the greatest joys. Tonight's story unfolds with Simon as we delve into the cozy world of the Pocket family. The Pocket family, snug and sound asleep, find themselves perched on the kitchen windowsill, hidden away behind stacks of boxes and cleaning supplies. They've made this unexpected new spot their home, settling into their surroundings with a comfort that only the most resourceful could achieve. Mr. and Mrs. Pocket, affectionately known as Ma and P, lie side by side, nestled within the soft folds of a dusting cloth. Ma snores peacefully, and with every breath, the yellow fabric rises gently in the air. P, on the other hand, sleeps deeply, his face radiating peace and contentment. Nearby, their children, Matilda and Joe, are just as fast asleep, their little beds formed within the wisps of a fluffy feather duster, a makeshift cloud of comfort. The Pocket family has always been a close-knit group, and for years, they've lived in blissful solitude within their secret home. A tissue box tucked away at the back of a kitchen cupboard. In this little hideaway, they rarely encountered the elderly couple who are in the house, or any humans at all, for that matter. But then last month, the moving van arrived, and everything changed. The couple packed up their belongings into cardboard boxes, and just like that, the Pocket family's quiet home was lost. But, true to their nature, the Pockets weren't disheartened. Instead, they embraced this shift as an exciting new chapter, an opportunity for adventure and exploration. To make the transition easier, the Pockets decided to temporarily relocate to the kitchen windowsill while the new human family settled in. It was P who suggested the spot, thinking that being near the window would be the perfect place to catch the natural daylight each morning. This way, they would all wake up early, long before the humans, and have the house to themselves for a few hours. They could enjoy peaceful conversations, eat freely, and even take a quick wash in the kitchen sink. They could also use this time to scout for new hideouts before the humans started their day. And so, for the past month, the Pocket family has observed the new homeowners, the Grangers, from behind boxes, under furniture, and through cracks in the skirting boards. The Grangers are a family of two, mother and daughter, both of whom are quite kind and gentle. As the Pockets have gathered through their quiet observations, the mother is in her early 30s, and her 5-year-old daughter, with a bright smile, is full of joy. The Grangers' many friends have come to help them settle into their new home. They've painted walls, moved furniture, and unpacked various objects, all of which Matilda Pocket has noted. To her, the fact that the Grangers have so many friends is proof enough of their kindness. The rest of the Pocket family agrees. Overheard conversations between the mother and daughter reveal a warm, gentle dynamic. one that shows their tenderness and care. One of the Pocket family's favorite parts of their observation is at bedtime, when the mother reads a story to her daughter. Sitting by her bed until she drifts off to sleep. After tucking her in, the mother kisses her forehead, tiptoeing out of the room. Matilda and Joe, the Pocket children, often sneak a listen from their perch on a nearby shelf, resting against the books. They absolutely love these soothing bedtime tales, soaking in the peaceful atmosphere. Then, after a quiet evening of listening to stories, the Pocket children climb back into the cloud-like feather duster on the kitchen windowsill, falling asleep once again. Though the Pockets hadn't originally planned to stay on the windowsill, it's turned out to be a perfect vacation spot. The last month has felt like an extended family holiday, full of unexpected joys. The windowsill has become their little haven, an ideal place for their new temporary home. They've dined like royalty, enjoying takeaways left on the kitchen counter, and have had easy access to fresh water from the taps. The feather duster is as soft and comfortable as a luxury hotel bed, and Ma and P have grown especially fond of the scent of lemon and lavender from their dusting cloth. For them, the situation is not only manageable but pleasant, and they've come to enjoy the sights, sounds, and moments of peace from this new vantage point. Their days are filled with quiet observations, seeing the humans go about their routines, and with the occasional opportunity to sneak a look at the world beyond the window. The family is content, cherishing their time together and basking in the gentle routine of their life on the windowsill. What was once an unexpected change has turned into a small adventure, one that's allowed them to bond as a family and experience the world from a new perspective. The Pocket family, nestled on the kitchen windowsill, has adapted to their new living situation with remarkable comfort. They enjoy constant access to fresh water from the taps, a luxury they never had in their previous secret home, tucked away in an old tissue box. Their bedding, though unconventional, is as soft and welcoming as the finest sheets in any five-star hotel. Mr. and Mrs. Pocket, affectionately known as P and Ma, have become especially fond of their velvety dusting cloth, which carries the soothing scents of lemon and lavender. However, what they truly cherish most about their new home is the reason P chose the windowsill in the first place. They all agree that the beauty of the light pouring in through the window is unparalleled. In the quiet moments before dawn, the soft rays of the sun begin to filter through the glass, casting a golden sheen that dances over the family's sleepy faces. The warmth gently touches their skin, slowly waking them from their slumber. It is in these precious moments that they all begin to stir, stretching, yawning, and slowly making their way to the window to witness the sunrise. Joe, the tallest of the bunch, is the first to rise. He stretches his arms wide above his head and reaches down towards his toes, feeling the pleasant stretch through his back and legs. Finally, he sits cross-legged on the sill, soaking in the view. This early morning ritual has become something the Pockets eagerly anticipate every day. After years of waking up in the dark corners of an old cupboard, Joe and the rest of the family have developed a deep appreciation for the natural beauty outside. They sit together, watching as the massive orb of golden light slowly rises from the horizon. With each passing moment, it reveals the peaceful landscape behind the house. A rectangular lawn bordered by rose beds, with a stone fountain at its center. To human eyes, the garden may seem like a simple, attractive patch of greenery, but to the pockets, it appears magnified and magnificent. The fences surrounding the garden seem like towering giants, stretching high into the sky. The shed, with its chestnut red paint, takes on the grandeur of a royal palace, gleaming in the sunlight. The rose bushes, which appear like small shrubs to the humans, become towering trees in the pocket's eyes, their ruby-like blooms resembling a magical, enchanted forest. The entire garden seems to transform before them into a kingdom, protected by mighty fences and presided over by a regal palace. The most breathtaking feature, however, is the ivory fountain at the center of the garden. Water spills from the tip of a beautifully crafted stone pineapple, cascading down into a large round basin before spilling into an even larger pool below. To the pockets, this fountain feels enormous, like an Egyptian pyramid, with the water's movements resembling a majestic waterfall. The sight is so mesmerizing that it almost feels like their very own Niagara Falls, right outside their window. As the sun rises higher, the light bounces off the water, creating patterns that shimmer like sparkling diamonds. P, deeply moved by the sight, turns to his wife and children, sharing a thought that's been on his mind. Even once they leave the windowsill, he hopes they can return to enjoy the beauty of the garden and its fountain. The serenity and wonder of the scene are something they will always carry with them, no matter where they go. Once the sun has fully risen, the family starts to move away from the windowsill, one by one. As they pass the kitchen sink, they stop for their daily ritual of taking showers. Climbing down the plug chain, they take turns standing beneath the dripping tap. There's something refreshing about the cool water, a much-needed wake-up call for their senses. But today, instead of lingering for a wash, they continue on their way, filled with energy and excitement. The humans are settled now, their furniture in place, the walls freshly painted, and the house feels more like home for everyone. The pockets, having had their fill of morning tranquility, are now ready to embark on a new adventure. With the house now fully settled, the time has come for the pockets to find a new place to explore and perhaps call home. Over the past few weeks, they've spent much of their time quietly observing the humans, and they've learned much about them. The Grangers, kind-hearted as they are, have brought warmth and joy into the house. It's time for the pockets to seek out new hideaways, but they do so with the peace of mind that comes from knowing they are safe in this new space. The Pocket family has spent considerable time thinking about where they might like to settle next. Each member of the family has a specific location in mind, and Mr. and Mrs. Pocket, or P and Ma as they are affectionately called, firmly believe in fairness and equality. As a result, they've decided that the final choice will be made by a family vote. Each member will have the opportunity to present their preferred location, and the family will then decide collectively where their new home will be. The first to showcase his choice is P, who is leading the way. From his backpack protrude two repurposed toothpicks, which he uses as walking sticks. These simple yet effective tools are essential when crossing uneven or tricky terrain. And for the Pockets, who have become experienced explorers, their walking sticks are a crucial part of their gear. Each family member has their own walking sticks, and their backpacks are filled with essential equipment. These items have been collected over the years and repurposed to form an adventurous kit capable of helping them with whatever challenges they may face. The Pockets have become experts at using their resources efficiently. For example, their climbing ropes are made from knotted string, safety pins, and picture hooks. With these ropes, they've managed to scale all kinds of surfaces, whether smooth or rocky, tall or wide. At this moment, the Pockets resemble a group of expert hikers, but instead of navigating through the countryside, they're crossing marble worktops, journeying through the kitchen. As they travel, they weave in and out of spice racks and sugar bowls, carefully making their way across the kitchen countertop. Their next challenge is the electric oven top, which is as smooth as an ice rink. Holding hands to form a chain, they move in sync, gliding across the surface as if they were a professional ice skating team. The experience is like flying rather than walking, and everyone is thrilled with the freedom and smoothness of their movements. P, with his usual enthusiasm, turns around at the edge of the cooker and leads the family back onto the glassy surface. They twist and twirl, their movements so graceful it feels as if they are one unit instead of four separate beings. The family is delighted by the fun they're having, laughing together as they leave the cooker and head towards the next stop on P's chosen path. Soon, they arrive at the spot P had picked out. It's a bit higher up, so P takes out the climbing ropes and begins to ascend the microwave, leading the family to follow him. The rope is thrown upwards, and with a bit of teamwork, the Pockets secure it in place. Once P reaches the top, he checks the rope and climbs further, pulling himself inside a small cupboard. The rest of the family follows him, and they are all now inside a cupboard they've never seen before. Inside the cupboard is something new to them, a giant mechanical device. This, as it turns out, is the human's boiler, which provides warmth to the entire house. P leads the family behind the boiler to a cozy nook, where bowls of cotton will have been laid out like a sofa and chairs. The family settles down into the soft cotton wool, instantly feeling the snugness and warmth surrounding them. The gentle warmth from the boiler makes this a perfectly relaxing spot, ideal for reading a book on a chilly day. The Pockets quickly realize how comfortable this new space is, and they can't help but feel at home here. To add to the cozy atmosphere, P brings out a tray of tiny foil mugs, each filled with a special treat, hot chocolate. He explains how he makes it. A speck of cocoa dust, a drop of water from the nearby tap, and a minute beside the boiler is all it takes to create enough hot chocolate for the entire family. The Pockets are delighted, savoring each sip of the creamy, milky beverage. The hot chocolate is rich with the flavor of luxurious dark chocolate, enhanced by a hint of sweet mint. They sit back, relishing the warmth of the drink and the comfort of the space. As they sip their hot cocoa, the family imagines what this cozy nook could become once it's decorated and furnished. They picture evenings spent together, chatting and enjoying their drinks, and mornings spent sitting on the kitchen windowsill, gazing out at the spectacular view. The thought of enjoying each sunrise as a family fills them with a sense of happiness and belonging. This space is quickly becoming a new favorite for everyone, and they are eager to make it their own. But once the hot chocolate cups are empty, they're ready for the next adventure. Ma, always eager to continue exploring, leads the group now. With a determined look, she throws the climbing rope downwards, catching it securely. The family is ready to move on, knowing that new opportunities for exploration and discovery await them just around the corner. As they prepare for the next part of their journey, the family reflects on how far they've come and how the simple things, a warm space, a comfortable spot to rest, and a shared moment of joy, make all the difference. With each new step, they grow closer together, learning to appreciate the small, beautiful moments that make life so special. The Pocket family, with their resourcefulness and love for adventure, is ready to continue writing their story, one new chapter at a time. Hanging from the leg of a kitchen chair, Ma secures herself to the rope with a toothpick. Then, with a look of mischief and a twinkle in her eye, she zip wires down the rope, landing gracefully on the kitchen floor. The rest of the Pocket family follows closely behind, each of them enjoying the exhilaration of the ride. With smiles spread across their faces, they glide down, their movements fluid and full of joy. As they walk across the smooth kitchen floor, they marvel at the towering height of the kitchen table. The world below feels so grand to them, and they feel like explorers venturing through this giant landscape. Soon, they arrive at a beautiful new wooden sideboard, purchased by the Grangers. The light pine of the furniture complements the kitchen table and chairs perfectly. The sideboard adds a warmth and brightness to the room that the Pockets admire. Beneath it, 3 cupboards stand with doors made of frosted glass. Ma points to the middle cupboard, their destination for today. With determination, she plants her toothpick into the floor and gracefully vaults through the gap in the cupboard door. The family follows her lead, each of them passing through the door and entering the cupboard. Inside, they weave their way around towering mountains of fine-bone china. Plates, bowls, teacups, and saucers are neatly stacked in every direction. Some pieces are so delicate and smooth, clearly reserved for special occasions, while others are decorated with hand-painted artwork that Ma believes belongs in a museum. The polished surfaces of the teacups are so shiny they resemble mirrors. Matilda is particularly amused by her own reflection, and is surprised by how much she looks like a real explorer. In that moment, she feels a great sense of pride for herself and her family. Although she is the youngest and smallest member, she now stands a little taller with the confidence of an intrepid adventurer. As Matilda rounds a corner, she reaches the back of the shelf, and there, her eyes widen in delight. Ma has prepared a table made from a single bottle top. On it sits a massive loop of cereal, a giant chocolatey honey-sweet donut. The sight is so astonishing that the Pockets stare in awe. This single piece of cereal, bigger than anything they have ever seen, could feed them for weeks. The family gathers around the table, their stomachs rumbling in anticipation. Matilda is the first to speak. "I think we could be very happy here," she declares as she takes a bite of the cereal. It's so sweet and crunchy that the entire family savors every mouthful. Ma explains her discovery. The human girl who lives in the house eats cereal for breakfast every day. She's a messy eater, and the crumbs fall everywhere. This, Ma realizes, provides the pockets with an endless supply of delicious food, not just at breakfast, but also at lunch and dinner. The family sits down around the table, content and full, savoring the taste of the cereal. The thought of living here fills them with a sense of comfort and peace. Though it may not have the warmth of P's boiler cupboard, this cupboard feels just as cozy, and the idea of daily access to such tasty food is certainly tempting. Joe, still savoring his last bite of cereal, declares, "It's much lighter than the last cupboard." The others nod in agreement, each of them feeling completely at ease. The family relaxes, feeling fully satisfied after their hearty breakfast. They begin to daydream about what it might be like to live here permanently. Although the cupboard is not as warm as the boiler nook, it has its own charm. Just as comfortable, just as homey. The idea of enjoying this peaceful, easy life, filled with delicious food, fills the family with excitement. Once they finish their meal, they leave the cupboard and continue on their exploration. Joe's turn has come to act as the group leader, and he springs into action, leading the family across the kitchen floor. The daylight now fills the room, soft and golden like the light at sunrise, but brighter in some spots where the sunlight reflects through the window. The kitchen floor, speckled with patterns of sunshine, creates beautiful, shimmering shapes beneath their feet. As the family walks through one of these sunlit patterns, they feel a warm, powerful light surround them. It's as though they're walking on sand, and in the background, the sound of the fountain outside mingles with the atmosphere, resembling the sounds of waves crashing on the shore. It feels as though they've stepped into a whole new world, one that's full of warmth, adventure, and possibility. The pockets are delighted by this new chapter in their journey, knowing that whatever lies ahead, they will experience it together. Transported to a world of adventure, the Pocket family is filled with excitement as they prepare to journey through their new surroundings. With each step, they make their way over the newly laid carpet, the soft fibers like clouds beneath their feet. Their walk is effortless, as if the carpet were designed specifically for them, offering comfort at every turn. The family holds hands, united in their shared exploration. This newly laid carpet is their first crossing, and Mar is completely enchanted by its softness and bounciness. The air smells fresh, and the scent of new carpet lingers around them, like a pleasant memory. They pass through an open doorway into the living room, a space that has been transformed by the Grangers, the new homeowners. The old burgundy carpet that Ma never liked has been replaced with polished mahogany floors that gleam with warmth and elegance. The walls, once adorned with wallpaper, now shine with sun-soaked terracotta paint, and framed artwork lines the space, depicting serene scenes from nature, alongside simpler pieces likely drawn by the Granger child. The whole room feels light and airy, a far cry from the previous decor. At the center of the room sits a massive leather sofa, a cozy spot for watching television. When Joe catches sight of the TV screen mounted on the wall, his eyes widen in awe. The TV is huge, far bigger than anything the family has ever seen. And for a moment, the family imagines the joy of living beside such a giant cinema screen. But as they follow Joe across the glossy floorboards and up onto the coffee table, they soon realize that Joe isn't leading them to the sofa or the crevice in the cushions that promises a good view of the screen. Instead, he guides them to something far more impressive: the central focal point of the table, a large rectangular fish tank teeming with life. Joe beams with pride, looking like a treasure hunter sharing off his findings. He walks toward the tank and invites his family to sit within a decorative panel in the coffee table that offers a perfect view of the aquatic world. The family settles comfortably in their new spot, their little feet resting on the smooth wood, and they begin to admire the wonders within the fish tank. Driftwood twists beautifully in the water, and fish of all colors swim gracefully through the branches. Even the smallest fish look enormous in the tank, each displaying its own unique patterns and vibrant colors. One fish in particular catches their attention, a striking shade of red with large, petal-like fins. Joe proudly names the fish Rose, inspired by its ruby-red color, which reminds him of the roses in the garden outside. The way it moves, so smoothly and gracefully, is just like rose petals drifting through the water. The family is mesmerized by the tank, the colors, and the beauty of it all. For the third time today, they feel a sense of wonder and appreciation for this new home. They begin to imagine what it would be like to live beside such a magnificent sight, especially with their very own private ocean just outside the window. Ever the dreamer, can't help but imagine setting up their new home beneath the nearby sofa leg, or within one of the drawers beneath the table. The thought of having constant beauty and entertainment so close by fills them all with excitement. As they sit and relax, sipping the beauty of the moment, Matilda suddenly stands up, ready to showcase her own choice for the family's new home. It's her turn to lead, and with confidence, she strides toward the coffee table, landing softly on the smooth mahogany surface. Her family follows, and with anticipation, they wonder where Matilda is leading them this time. She guides them further into the living room, past the coffee table, and around the back of the sofa. Matilda flashes a knowing smile to her family, knowing exactly what awaits them just around the corner. Her excitement is contagious, and soon enough, the rest of the family is equally delighted when they see what Matilda has discovered. There, against the living room wall, stands the most magnificent sight: a grand dollhouse. It's so large that its roof almost touches the arm of the sofa, and it opens up to reveal 3 floors, each more charming than the last. The dollhouse is complete with stairs connecting each level and a lift at the side. The ground floor contains a kitchen and a living room, while the second floor boasts a dining room and a bathroom. At the top is a luxurious master bedroom, complete with a double bed in the center, and 2 smaller rooms with single beds. Every room is beautifully decorated, with modern and stylish pieces that make it feel like a real home. The pockets stand in awe, taking in the dollhouse with wide eyes. The scene before them feels like a dream that has somehow come to life. This isn't just a playhouse for humans, it's their new home. The furniture, the decor, the layout, All of it seems too perfect to be real. The dollhouse looks like something out of a fairy tale, and for the pockets, it feels like their very own mansion. They are filled with gratitude and wonder, and the idea of calling this place home excites them more than they ever thought possible. The family spends a long moment admiring the dollhouse, discussing how they would decorate and furnish it, imagining cozy nights on exciting days. It's a dream come true for each of them, and they can hardly believe their good fortune. Matilda's choice wins the family vote even before she points out the tiny remote-controlled car parked beside the house. This car, they realize, will be their means of transportation as they explore their new world, revisiting the spots they've seen today and discovering new places whenever they feel like it. They'll visit the fish tank again, spend time near the fountain, or even sunbathe on the kitchen floor. When the time comes to go to sleep, Matilda and Joe will climb into their very own beds, tucked safely within the dollhouse's rooms. As their parents read them a soothing bedtime story, the little ones will drift off to sleep, dreaming of all the adventures that await them in their new home. Later, after Matilda and Joe are fast asleep, Ma and Pa will tiptoe quietly out of the room, leaving their children to dream of new adventures in a world full of endless possibilities. As the final words of the story settle in, you feel a sense of peace washing over you. The adventures of the night have drawn to a close, leaving behind a warmth that lingers in your heart. The quiet hum of the world outside continues, but here, in this moment, everything feels perfectly still. You're tucked in, surrounded by comfort, and as you drift deeper into rest, you carry with you the gentle echoes of tonight's journey. Just like the characters in the story, you're safe, you're at peace, and tomorrow holds endless possibilities. Let the calm embrace you, and know that the quiet moments of this night are the very ones that will help you dream sweetly through the hours ahead. Sleep well, and may your dreams be filled with joy, peace, and adventure.